Live from Schellenberger Field, you're watching Women's College Lacrosse on LHSN as the Lynchburg Hornets play host to the Roanoke Maroons, the 46th all-time meeting between these two squads. Lynchburg coming off a pair of losses last week down in Florida. Roanoke looking to get back to their winning ways after a loss against Catholic last time out. TJ Wingard here with you to take you through all the action. We'll show you some of the stats and figures coming into this contest. Roanoke picked to finish second and even got a first-place vote in the preseason poll. Lynchburg picked to finish in the top three of the conference as well. And now we'll talk about some of the players to watch. A lot of talent for both sides. For Roanoke, we'll highlight Lily Blair, a senior from Salem, Virginia, 17 goals with 6 assists so far this season. Had 5 goals against Catholic. That's not even her season high. She had 7 against the Ursinus Bears. Certainly a threat on the offensive side for the Maroons. And on the other end, Alla Daniels, somebody who might not get all the recognition she might deserve. 4 goals, 3 assists this season, but she does a whole lot of controlling once you get into the attacking third for Lynchburg. So you'll hear me calling out Daniels' name a lot this evening. Between the posts for Roanoke, Kylie Chickering, a sophomore from Naples, Florida, second in the conference in goal against average, also holds a 44.1% save percentage. Opposite of Chickering, a freshman from Forest, Virginia, Patricia Rogers. Rogers, 12.77 goal against average so far this year, and then 4th in the ODAC in save percentage as well as total saves with 52 on the year. Rogers opposite of Chickering. And we have to talk about the coaches. Interim head coach for Roanoke, Zach Tamburello, was named the interim head coach in August 2021. Prior to that, was an assistant coach with Roanoke, hired before the 2018 season. And if you're a Lynchburg fan, you know all about Coach Bruce Reed, his 20th year at the helm. 13 consecutive winning seasons, looking for number 14. Currently the Hornets right at 500 this season. Starters on the turf. A pair of number 20s at midfield. That's Sophia Chickering and Tori King to take the opening draw control. And we are now underway. Chickering picks up the ground ball. Neatly marked up by Madison Knight. The Maroons get to work on the offensive side. Sydney Harrison patrolling to her right, a freshman from Massachusetts, a pair of goals this season. Her 5th consecutive start. Now she finds Lily Blair. They'll work it around towards the near side. Pass goes behind the net. Ultimately rotates back to Blair. Now top of the formation. This is Libby Bowman. One more pass. This is Emerson Foster, senior from Richmond, Virginia. 8 scores this year for Foster. Good spin. Now works back towards the center of the turf. Shot clock at 50. Pass intended for Tiernan Connor. It was broken up, but Connor will take the free position. On free position shots this year, Roanoke 6 for 17. Connor shoots, denied by Rogers. Make it 6 for 18 on free position shots this year for Roanoke. On the other end, Lynchburg. Free position percentage at 73.5%. And if the Hornets are able to generate those types of looks against the starting keeper Chickering, it could be a strong home showing for the Hornets looking to take down the Roanoke Maroons. We mentioned 46th all-time meeting between these two squads. Lynchburg 10-10 when playing here at home. Shell Perkins sent towards the end line. Finds Mia Sullivan. Now to our player to watch, Daniel. Over to King. Dumas finds Santora. And Dumas Santora do a lot of the heavy lifting when it comes to putting the ball in the back of the net. Both stand on the far side. Daniel patrols, junior from Salem, Virginia. Derek Gregory behind the net, 5 goals, 2 assists. Gregory, a lot of ways alongside Michelle Perkins. Do a lot of work standing behind the net and serve as the quarterback of the offense. And case in point, Gregory finds Dumas. Lynchburg strikes first and leads 1-0. 8th goal of the season for Dumas. 3rd assist for Gregory. And for the Hornets, you want to see a lot of that this afternoon. Have Perkins and Gregory trying to find cutters. And when the opening presents itself, take advantage of your shots from point-blank range. against Kylie Chickering. Lynchburg leads 1-0. And we'll see Sophia Chickering and Tori King back out towards midfield. Finish my point about the recent series history between these two squads. 10-10 all time here on Schellenberger Field. Randolph College, one of the most recent matchup between these two teams, but Lynchburg had won the 3 prior, so it has been back and forth of sorts the last handful of years. Draw control win for Lynchburg, and Daniel down in a yellow card. Assist to Emerson Foster. Does look like Daniel's okay, holds the back of her head. It's obviously a scary place to see a potential injury, so hopefully Daniel is okay. Take another look. Incidental contact. Players going hard for a loose ball. Foster, a swipe too many. Finds the back of the head of Daniel, who does stay out on the turf. As play resumes, less than 13 minutes to go in the opening quarter. Perkins patrols. King cut towards the net. Pass wasn't there, so instead, Daniel for Gregory. Works to her left, tries to short hop the shot in front of Chickering. It's there to block it up. Looked like the shot was wide right regardless. Dumas looking for goal number 2. Sent to the turf. Absorbs a contact from Addison Schmidt, a junior from Maryland. And now a free position opportunity for the Hornets. Dumas. A couple of years back, one of the best in the country, finishing on free position shots, 83.3% 2 seasons ago. No shot here for Dumas instead. Dishes over to Santora. Finds Daniel. The step against her defender. Working to her right. Shot goes up and over the top post. Lynchburg maintains possession. Dumas lost control. Picked up by Natalie Mason. Santora applies the pressure. Pass goes back to Chickering, who then finds Blair. Across midfield, Claire Eisenhart looking for help. It has in the form of Lily Blair. Eisenhart, senior from New Jersey. 8 ground balls this season. Today marks her 5th start of the year. Pass to the near side. Riley Chase scored in every game played this year for Roanoke. 9 scores all told. Bowman. The handoff, and that was Sydney Harrison navigating through the middle and a handful of traffic against the Hornets defense. And as she made the pass to Molly Casemeyer, whistle blown. Harrison will take a shot on the free position instead. Gets it back out to Casemeyer, and Roanoke continues to swing it back and forth. And out of the stick of Bowman. Sophomore played in all 5 games this year for Roanoke. For the Maroons, most recently, it was a pair of losses against York and Pennsylvania, 15-10. And then after that, Catholic 13-12. Shot, save, another for Rogers. A couple of big stands for the freshman with some help from Leah Dumas. Hornets lead 1-0 in the early goings. Sullivan lost control. Lynchburg will maintain possession. We're going to take opportunity to show you the last save from Rogers. A good look, especially considering it's Lily Blair letting it fly in the face of Rogers, but for West Virginia native there to make the stop. Hornets looking to double up their lead. Another whistle. Again, it goes against Roanoke. You can hear Coach Reed on the near sideline talking to his team, saying Roanoke's going to be physical. Got to play through it. Dumas picked up by 3 separate defenders. Spins, finds some space. Dishes forward. King over to Perkins. Sent back out. Daniel for Dumas. Couldn't handle the pass. Sullivan maintains possession for the Hornets with 12 on the shot clock. Perkins rolls right. Has Santora. Only 5 seconds left. Shot deflected. Picked up by Daniel, who will fling it towards the right end line. Lynchburg conceded possession to Roanoke. Let's talk about the most recent schedule for Roanoke. Maroons were leading at halftime against the Spartans of York College. Ultimately, blew that lead in the second half against York. That game being played on Sunday the 13th of this month. And it was a 7-3 lead at the break. In the second half, all York, winning the third and fourth quarter combined 12-3. Free position for the Maroons. Blair winds up, shot deflected. Didn't look like it reached Rogers. Ball still live until play comes to a halt. It'll be another free position for Roanoke. On the far side, that's Sidney Harrison. Harrison sends it to Rogers. Another save for the Lynchburg keeper. Knight couldn't handle the pass for the Hornets. Picked up instead by Schmidt for Roanoke. Schmidt hits the brakes and finds Harrison. So a tough loss for Roanoke against York, blowing the second half lead. And then after that, loss at Catholic, 13-12. And Maroons never trailed by more than 2 scores in that game, but trailed a majority of that contest. It was back and forth. And every time that Roanoke would get it within a score, and there were a handful of ties, every time the Maroons kept it close, Catholic was able to find an answer and ultimately came away with a 1-goal victory. Blair worked to her left. Dumas able to poke it away. Big stop for Lynchburg. Maroons had controlled possession for a long segment of time. Unable to really get a clean shot off against Rogers. So big time credit going out to the Lynchburg defense, anchored by Kalen Satterfield and Jordan Nielsen, among plenty of others. Gregory assisted the opening goal of today's game. Elise Henderson. Back over to Peyton Sawville. Sawville, 5 goals this season. Perkins for Henderson. Can't complete the pass. Henderson gets it back, though. Sends it towards Chickering, who's there to snare the shot. Hornets get it back. 1-on-1. Micah Slacum. Her first goal of the year. The definition of defense turning into offense. Slacum doubles the Hornets lead at 2-0. As I was talking about the defenders, and Satterfield, Nielsen, Slacum, another name that comes to mind. Here, Roanoke, touch too lazy on the pass, and Slacum jumps all over it. He goes up and over the top right shoulder of Chickering. Lynchburg with a statement to open today's contest, leading 2-0. And now it'll be Henderson for Lynchburg, Sophia Chickering for Roanoke at midfield for the draw control. Hornets looking to snap a 3-game losing streak after a 3-0 start to the season. Draw control. Won by Roanoke. Chickering with the ground ball. Sent to the sideline by Knight. Sawville also in the back pocket of Chickering. Maroons now get to work on the offensive side, looking to break through for the first time this afternoon. Talking about the recent stretch for the Hornets. Started out close at home against York. Then Lynchburg, just like Roanoke, had a tough second half working against the Spartans and ultimately fall short to the then number 16 team in the country, 17-6. That was then followed up by a pair of games down in Haines City, Florida, against number 19 Denison, number 6 Franklin and Marshall. Loose ball down on the turf. Both teams vying for it. Nilsson in the mix. Also, ultimately, it's Casemeyer coming away with possession for the Maroons. Pass broken up. The intended target, Nicole Harrison. Lynchburg with yet another stop. Nilsson on the far side. Ahead forward. Connects with Carson Quigley. Now it's Santora breaking back towards the center of the turf. Evades a defender. Santora has her pass picked off, trying to get it through to Henderson. Another nice defensive play made by Natalie Mason. 5 minutes to go in the opening quarter. Talking more about Lynchburg's spring break trip down in Florida. It was close with Denison, and it mirrors what Roanoke had against Catholic, where Lynchburg never trailed by 2 in that contest until the very end. Never lost a quarter by more than 2. Really the biggest point of separation in that game was the third, where Denison wins it 5-3, but ultimately it mounts a 13-9 Red Devils win to open up the week last Monday. Whistle blown, player down on the turf. Headed towards the sideline for Roanoke, Tracy Benzing. And what the worst of that play, Sawville was down for a moment. There it is again. Yellow card. Given a 2-minute yellow. Benzing the guilty party. Now a chance for the Hornets. A player up. Looking to make it 3-0. Because of this, you see Roanoke change up their look on the defensive side. Much more of a zone approach here, and something you'll see very often. Men's and women's lacrosse. Player down. Has to cover space rather than players, and Santora finds an open space. Takes care of the rest. Sneaks it past the foot of Chickering and makes it 3-0 Lynchburg out in front of the Maroons. Here it is one more time. Santora off the feed from Sawville, found the opening, and that's the downside of when you have to shift into that zone look. If you're Roanoke in this case, a lot of times the middle of your defense can be exposed if somebody able to find an opening and penetrate, and that's exactly what Santora does, and then finishes the shot. Hornets riding a great first quarter. Still 4 minutes to go. Lynchburg leads Roanoke 3-0. Tori King, opposite of Chickering. These draw controls, even per the live stats, 1-1. Daniel carries into the attacking third for Lynchburg. Swings it over to Sullivan. Sullivan is staple into the starting lineup for Lynchburg. 6th consecutive start to open up the year for Sullivan. Hailing from Southbury, Connecticut. Daniel feeds Sullivan. Steps up. Whistle blown. And it goes against Roanoke. Sullivan to start up the free position. Sullivan not going to take the shot. Seemingly eyed Santora, cutting in from the far side. Another whistle, another free position on the way for Lynchburg. This one from further out. And Sullivan dishes it back out to Ala Daniels. Just under a minute on the shot clock, so time for Lynchburg to build up on the offensive side. Pass just a touch too short from Perkins. Taken away by Roanoke and in specific snagged by Eisenhart. Ahead for Harrison. Closest defender is Alec Daniel. Along the left end line. Casemeyer had it for a moment. Casemeyer tied for 5th in the ODAC with 10 assists this season. And where you'll see Perkins and Gregory standing behind the net, QBing the offense, so to speak. We'll see a whole lot of that for Molly Casemeyer today as well, just on the other side for Roanoke. Blair back to Harrison. Blair then sets a screen. Harrison kicks it over. This is Bowman. Spins left. Nowhere to go. Now to Foster. Foster picked up by Slacum. Shot. Tough angle against Rogers, who's there to make the stand. Fifth save of the afternoon already for Patricia Rogers. Pass sailed up and over the head of Mia Sullivan, out of play on the near sideline. Clock stops, just over 100 seconds to go in the opening quarter. Give and go between Casemeyer and Chase. Pass fake. Now they get it away to Blair, sends it back out. Bowman working against Tori King, gets the shot off, misses wide left. Maroons keep possession. Casemeyer to start it up. Trying to slip it through to Blair. No real open window for that pass to be completed through. In specific, Madison Knight. A great job cutting off potential angle on the pass to Lily Blair. 40 seconds and counting. Knight sends it back to Slacum, now over to Nilsson. Talking about the starting keeper for the Hornets, Patricia Rogers. Season best, 18 saves against Denison. After that, she had 13 against York. So 5 in the first quarter on a new career best pace. We'll see if that pace keeps up throughout the rest of this contest. Lynchburg with a chance. Final possession of the first quarter. Dumas finds a second defender, flings it towards Chickering between the posts, and the final seconds of the first quarter will wind away. 15 minutes through, Lynchburg with a strong first quarter, out in front 3-0 over Roanoke College. We'll step aside and come back with the second set of 15 between the Hornets and the Maroons, coming to you on LHSN.
Never think that your donation is in vain, because you're helping out hundreds of students that are just like me, who need a shot and who are getting one. Without donations, without you individuals that are helping to donate to the university and the Lynchburg Fund, there would be no student body president, Davion Washington. There'd probably be I'm stuck at home, Davion Washington. Not only is your donation building leaders, but it's building leaders like myself and others that will hopefully want to pay it forward one day and you do the same thing. I know for a fact that, when I have it, because I want to give back to this university that provided me a home for 4 years.
Time for the second quarter between Lynchburg and the number 2 pick in the preseason poll, Roanoke College. Hornets lead 3-0 through 15 minutes of action. Both sides getting back onto the turf. Thank you, everybody, for spending some time with us on your Thursday late afternoon. TJ Wingard here with you. Take you through all the action on LHSN. Recapping some of the scoring so far. Got underway. Leah Dumas, assisted by Dara Gregory. A little less than 2 minutes into the first quarter. That was followed up by turnover created by Micah Slacum. And then Slacum finishes on the other side and gets her first goal of the year. And a little less than 4 to go in the first quarter is Nikki Santora off the feed from Peyton Sawville to make it 3-0. Interim head coach Zach Tamburello looking for an answer on the sideline, and so I'm talking before the quarter with his squad, talking more about Coach Tamburello's resume. Had been the team's offensive coordinator past couple seasons, and this is a Roanoke team that finished 41st in the country last season, averaging just under 26 goals a game. In 2019, they were 18th in the country, 16.42 goals a game. And that was the same year that Maroons offense finished second in points, goals, and assists in a single season for program history. Hornets have possession to start the second quarter. Sullivan for Gregory, now over to Perkins. Perkins been a really nice part of the offensive mix for Lynchburg this season. Started all 6 games. Only 1 goal, 1 assist, but she and Gregory do a whole lot behind the net. Seeing the offense build up. Gregory this time gets the pass from Sullivan. Shot deflected. Whistles are blown. And it sets up a free position for Gregory in Lynchburg. Gregory with an assist today. Chance to potentially get her first goal of her own. Gregory will take the shot. Nice stop for Kylie Chickering. And a big stand for Roanoke, keeping it at 3-0. I think the emphasis in the second quarter, especially considering interim head coach Zach Tamburello, former offensive coordinator. This possession felt like one that Maroons really needed a point, get things settled on that side of the turf. But instead, turnover, empty possession. Hornets work back the other way. Sullivan will have to backtrack after feeling some contact. Swings it over to Ala Daniel. And at this point, a little more than a quarter into this contest, and Lynchburg playing with the lead, but see how patient they are on the offensive side. If you get a good look, certainly going to take the shot at the net. But knowing that this Roanoke team has, years past, been one of the best offenses, not only in the ODAC, but top 50 offense across the country, how much keep away do you start to play here in the first half? Something I'm monitoring throughout the rest of the second quarter. Trying to get it to Santora. Couldn't handle the pass. King gets it back for the Hornets and then takes the shot. Another stop for Chickering. Rogers had a really nice first quarter for Lynchburg and a couple of really impressive saves to start up the second quarter for Chickering. Mason. She was knocking on the door of the attacking third for Roanoke. Had it poked away by Daniel. A whistle on the play. Roanoke will reset. 12:45 to go in the first half. Casemeyer ahead for Connor. And now Roanoke will work it around clockwise. Just 6 shots of the first quarter plus now for Roanoke. 10 on the other side for Lynchburg, indicating where the time of possession has been so far in this contest. Lily Blair, Roanoke player to watch. Can't find space against opposing number 7, Leah Dumas. Handoff Harrison. Some contact. And Harrison sent down to the turf. Free position inbound for the Maroons. Taking another look, we saw a play similar to this early on with Alec Daniel. Feeling some contact to the back of her head. This time it's Dumas swiping Harrison. Harrison on the free position, takes the shot. Short hops and leaves it wide right of the post from my vantage point. Roanoke keeps possession, 15 seconds on the shot clock. Nice give and go. Pass was sent back to Connor. Couldn't handle feedback in her direction. Dumas backtracks. Swings it over to King. Slices through the center of the Roanoke defense. Now over to Sullivan. Back to King. Goes up top shelf. Pulls through down on the shot. Misses wide left of the post. Perkins for Sullivan. Has it knocked loose. Addison Schmidt there for Roanoke. But the whistle leads to a free position. Taking the shot, Sullivan. Leaves it off frame. Perkins to start up for the Hornets. And that will stop the clock, 11:02. Dumas tying her shoes, and referee stepping in. And now the referees come together. Not sure about what the conversation may revolve around. And now it looks like our lead official is going to call on both head coaches. Talk about his findings. So as the coaches get caught up to date, they'll head to the scores table as well. Today marks a battle between preseason number 2 in the ODAC poll and Roanoke, number 4 Lynchburg. Both teams technically with a conference win at this point in the season, 1-0. That's due to an EMU forfeit. Vernon Royals not having a season this year. So today, chance to feel out the other. It will be a non-conference official meeting between these two sides. This will not change the conference record for either team. It's the first of 2 meetings this season between the two sides. The next will be at Roanoke. Chance for both sides to get a look at the other. Also assess, hey, 2 of the top 4 teams in the preseason poll, what's the top of the ODAC look like? There's certainly some advantages of playing a conference opponent in a non-conference setting. They'll stop the clock again. Yellow card assessed as Santora heads to the sideline for Lynchburg.
Yellow card assessed to Lynchburg number 16, Nikki Santora. Releases at 8:45. 8:45 on the release.
2-minute penalty goes against Lynchburg. This is a spot here where you're a Roanoke fan. You don't want to call it must score because there's a lot of lacrosse left, but you're still looking for that first goal. It feels like it's Roanoke. Finds the back of the net that first time. The offense will stabilize. They'll be able to find their footing. Be okay the rest of the way. But now you have a chance. Player up. This is the opportunity to break through and find the scoring, or find the back of the net and enter the scoring column for the first time today. Harrison looks left. Finds Blair. Blair over to Connor. Connor has a goal in every game played this year for Roanoke. 8 on the year. Harrison, right down Broadway, shot wide right. Less than 10 to go in the first half. Roanoke maintains possession. Pass intended for Maddie Stopkowski. Didn't make it there instead. Shot sails up over the top post coming from Sydney Harrison. 20 seconds for the Maroons to work with. Stopkowski in front of Nielsen. Now sends it towards net. Pass was intended for Casemeyer, broken up by Dumas and Lynchburg. Take back over on the offensive side. Hornets have been really impressive on the defensive end today. And a chance here controlling, still in their own defensive third, but Lynchburg about 18 seconds away from having the 2-minute yellow go by the wayside. Pass intended for Henderson, taken away by Blair. 8 seconds with a player up. Blair trying to find Casemeyer. Pass too tall and out of play. Santora checks back in. And then yet another empty possession for Roanoke. Rogers trying to work it quickly ahead to Sullivan. Another takeaway. Blair gets the pass. And finds a wall. Lynchburg back line. Stepping up. That was Satterfield, and it looked like Knight. Forcing Blair to reset on the offensive end. Possession back to the Hornets. The last minute to two of game time action, but back and forth between the two sides. Nothing to show for it. Tenor for Sawville. Instead, Blair there to take it away again for Roanoke. And we talk about Blair and what she does on the offensive side. 17 goals, 6 assists. That alone is all conference type of production. But Blair's been instrumental in creating turnovers and trying to generate extra possessions for Roanoke. Hasn't able to break through on the offensive side yet, find the back of the net, but Blair trying to do her part. She controls and will start up. Possession for the Hornets. Sawville heads to the sideline, is in the penalty box. Another 2-minute penalty to go against Lynchburg. Blair with it now. Finds Manny Stepkowski. Have a season best. 2 goals at Catholic. 13-12 loss for the Maroons. Blair denied by Rogers. Another impressive stop for the freshman. Weaving through traffic, Bowman fields a stick. That results in a free position for Roanoke. Bowman, a sophomore from Salem, Virginia. Pair of goals and an assist so far this season. Bowman will take it herself and puts the Maroons into the scoring column. After nearly 23 minutes of lacrosse have been played, it's Libby Bowman putting Roanoke on the board to make it a 3-1 contest. Third score of the year for Bowman. And now we'll get to put my theory to test. Get that first goal. So I take the pressure off the shoulders and open things up for Roanoke on the offensive end. Or does Lynchburg have the Maroons' number this afternoon? And will continue to be a struggle for Roanoke offensively. Henderson and Sophia Chickering at midfield. Shots category getting closer and closer to even. 12-11. Lynchburg still holds the lead. Flung into the Lynchburg sky. Picked up by Chickering. Maroons can cut the deficit at half. Blair over to Stopkowski. Back to the senior. Far side. Pass goes to Nicole Harrison, a sophomore from Boston, Massachusetts. Stopkowski Once again, gets it away to Tiernan Connor. 14 shots this year for Connor. Stupkowski finds two defenders in her face. Pass off the mark. Obtained by Carson Quigley. Fields some contact through the check. Possession stays with Lynchburg. Trying to get it ahead to Sullivan. Unable to keep it in her reach. And after ricocheting off the stick. And going out across the far sideline, Roanoke back to work. A little less than 6 to go in the first half of play. Bowman for Blair. Back and forth between Stupkowski and Blair. Stupkowski then lays the screen. Blair defended by Henderson. Backpedals. Swings over to Bowman. Bowman against Nielsen. Another point-blank stop for Patricia Rogers. Freshman has certainly brought her A game. And if you're a Lynchburg fan, you're hoping that type of play for Rogers carries into the second half, and you might be in for a big non-conference win against Roanoke. Derek Gregory finds Perkins. Perkins brings it around towards the near side. Quigley finds Sawville. Kicked over to Santora. Santora leads the way, scoring column for Lynchburg this year. Taking a clean look. Talking more about Santora, 15 goals, a couple assists to go with it. Sawville wraps it fully around. .15 on the shot clock. Sawville still with it. Kicks to Santora. As Santora takes the shot, whistles are blown. And Santora will have the free position. Less than 4 to go in the second quarter. Santora with a chance to get goal number 16 of the year, denied by Chickering. It almost snuck through for Santora, but Chickering deflected. Able to get a stick down on the loose ball and cover it up. Timeout called by Coach Tim Brullo.
Timeout, Roanoke.
And as Maroons and the Hornets talk it over, we'll take the opportunity to step aside, and we'll come back after the timeout for the final 3 minutes and 31 seconds of the first half. You're watching Lynchburg and Roanoke on LHSN.
If you like being close with your professors, if you like being in small classes that help with one-on-one, if you like being in positive communities that help you train your weak points and strengthen your strong points, then the University of Lynchburg is a great place to go. You can never go wrong with the amount of help that they offer, the amount of self-sacrifice that other people will put in for you. It has a beautiful campus, it has dedicated teachers, it has nice students, it has fun activities, and it has plenty of things to do.
Welcome back to Lynchburg, Virginia. 3-1 your score. Here's the lone goal so far today for the Maroons. Comes courtesy of Libby Bowman, her third of the season. That came across around the midway point of this second quarter. 7:14 was left on the clock when Bowman found home. Lynchburg yet to score here in the second quarter. It was 3-0 through the first quarter. And now here we are towards the end of the first half, 3-1. Offense few and far between for the two teams, but a fun one to watch nonetheless. You're watching the Maroons and the Hornets duke it out on LHSN. It's TJ Wingert here with you. And prior to the timeout, it was Roanoke possession deep in the attacking third, but interim head coach Zach Tamburello wanted to talk it over and maybe saw an opportunity to draw something up and bring it to a 1-goal difference. Case Meyer passes behind the net. Dish goes back to Case Meyer. For the first time today, it was Lily Blair, and Blair with it now comes out from behind the net. So Blair in a bit of a different spot than where we've seen for the most part today from Roanoke on the offensive side. Blair steps up, finds an opening, and buries it to make it 3-2. And maybe that was a tweak for Coach Tamburello. Take another look. Tamburello came out from behind the net, and maybe that created a little bit of confusion for Lynchburg, and ultimately Tamburello and Lily Blair generate the second goal today for the Maroons. For Blair, her 18th on the season, and the trend does continue. She has a goal in every game played this year for the Maroons. Show it one more time. Blair, after getting the feet at the top of the formation, had a step on her defender, and a player that good will take care of the rest. It's interesting to see. Next time we see Roanoke come down on the offensive side, where does Blair start the possession? And if it's behind the net, we might have seen a change right before our eyes made by Roanoke. Draw control win. Emerson Foster carries ahead with a plethora of momentum, and then taken down. Yellow card given to the Hornets. To the sideline comes Madison Knight.
Yellow card assessed to Lynchburg number 8, Madison Knight. 2-minute penalty releases at 46 seconds left in the period.
Another 2-minute penalty to go against Lynchburg. Foster has 8 goals and an assist this season. Free position, Foster won't take the shot. Instead, Roanoke wrap it around like a clock. Case Meyer. Nice find. Shot. Foster denied. Patricia Rogers continues to be a standout this afternoon. 8th save for Patricia Rogers. And that was a nice find. Case Meyer, all an open teammate, and Foster caught it in stride. Just sent the shot directly to the waiting net, and not the net she was waiting to find. Rogers there to make the stand. Less than 2 to go in the first half. Lynchburg with a chance to get back some of the damage they let up here in the second quarter. Sullivan can't shake Foster. And instead, find some help in the form of Derek Gregory. Now with Santora. Shot clock's at 30. Whistle blown. Forces Lynchburg to reset. Santora spins on the end line. Another whistle. And now a conference between our official and a player for Roanoke. That's Kaylee LaGuardia. They'll stay with Lynchburg, and the shot clock still down to 10. Pass intended for Tori King. Gregory trying to pick up the loose ball. Instead, Roanoke picks it up. It's Addison Schmidt trying to find Blair at midfield. Nilsson, the guilty party, the whistle, sets up a run in transition. Shot comes from Chase. Might have been deflected, perhaps wide right. Maroons stick with it. The shot clock's turned off. 25 seconds to go in the opening half. It's Blair controlling. Has Harrison. Harrison gets it back to Blair, who has her second on the day. Lily Blair, with just 7 seconds to play in the second quarter, ties us up 3-all. Nice give and go between Blair and her teammates. Roanoke might have found something by starting Lily Blair behind the net. Create enough confusion, enough movement, having her start there and then rotate her around the formation. And it's resulted in a pair of goals for Blair. 3 scores for Roanoke as a team here in the second quarter. And like that, it's a brand new game. 3-3. Only 7 seconds to go in the first half. King opposite to Sophia Chickering. Draw control, won by Roanoke. Pass goes to Casemeyer, unable to get the shot off before the buzzer sounds. We've made it through 30 minutes. A battle between Lynchburg and Roanoke. Good one so far. Hope to have that continue into the second half. We will step aside and come back with some stats from the first 30 minutes of action as you are watching Lynchburg and Roanoke on LHSN.
I was looking for a school that could provide me with the athletics, academics to pursue my career, a wind symphony to pursue my passion for music, and really have a nice general atmosphere. The professors here are really unique, their background and their passion for teaching. It's really a place where you can explore. Lynchburg gives you the opportunity to fail, but also get back up in that period of time and learn from your mistakes. I can make these mistakes within the school environment, but also with the support of other friends, and be ready for the real world when you graduate.
rough day. Jess and I are officially on a break. The couple canoe has broken up.
It's not.
How you feeling?
Living the dream.
Just canoeing. That's the Mexican side behind me. The U.S. is that way.
So far, we're all still alive.
I really want a peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
Woo! We did it! Kind of.
Living the dream.
USA, Mexico. That was so exciting.
Welcome back to Schellenberger Field. Halftime between Lynchburg and Roanoke. 3-3 your score. TJ Wingert here to take you through all the action. We'll show you some of the stats from the first half of play. Relatively neck and neck between the two squads, specifically in the turnover department. I want to add on to that caused turnovers, 8 caused turnovers for Roanoke, 6 for Lynchburg. That'll be an interesting stat once we get to the second half and see if that changes at all. How many of these turnovers are forced by the defense and how many are just unforced errors offensively. Two teams neck and neck in regards to shots. Roanoke, should be noted, trailed by a fair amount at the end of the first quarter and stormed back with a 3-0 run in the second and ultimately have a lead in that department. At halftime, the shots on goal reflect something similar, 2 shot on goal advantage for Roanoke, and we're even pretty much in draw controls, that extra possession. Not seen on the scoreboard where it matters most, 3-3, and then the ground balls, same could be said there for the draw controls to be applied to the ground balls. Updates on some of the individual stats. 1 goal each for Lynchburg, led by Leah Dumas, Micah Slacum, and Nikki Santora. And it's 2 goals for Lily Blair and 1 for Libby Bowman. For the keepers, Kylie Chickering, 7 saves on 15 shots faced. And on the other side, Patricia Rogers, 9 saves against 16 shots. Both keepers really have been stellar. Chickering came up with a couple of huge stops in the second quarter, and Rogers ultimately was beat 3 times in the second quarter, but came up with a handful of tremendous saves from point-blank range. Those are some of the stats and figures from the first 30 minutes of play. We're going to step aside one more time and then come back, get you ready for everything you need to know for the second half between Lynchburg and Roanoke on LHSN.
Today's a rough day. Jess and I are officially on a break. The couple canoe has broken up.
It's not.
How you feeling?
Living the dream.
Just canoeing. That's the Mexican side behind me. The U.S. is that way.
So far, we're all still alive.
I really want a peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
Woo! We did it! Kind of.
Living the dream.
USA, Mexico. That was so exciting.
If you like being close with your professors, if you like being in small classes that help with one-on-one, if you like being in positive communities that help you train your weak points and strengthen your strong points, then the University of Lynchburg is a great place to go. You can never go wrong with the amount of help that they offer, the amount of self-sacrifice that other people will put in for you. It has a beautiful campus, it has dedicated teachers, it has nice students, it has fun activities, and it has plenty of things to do.
It's halftime in Lynchburg, Virginia. 3-3 your score between the Hornets of Lynchburg University and Roanoke College. The Maroons battled back in the second quarter. When we return, we'll bring you the second half between Roanoke and Lynchburg, coming to you on LHSN. Welcome back to Schellenberger Field. Players getting on the turf. We're getting set for the 30 minutes that come with the second half between Roanoke and Lynchburg. 3-0 advantage Hornets through the first 15 minutes. Roanoke pulled out all the stops, took the second quarter 3-0 in their own right, and that brings us to where we are now. Appreciate everybody sticking with us through halftime. You're on LHSN. And it'll be Sophia Chickering at midfield for the draw control for Roanoke, and Nikki Santora at midfield for Lynchburg. First time seeing Santora battle for the draw control this afternoon. Santora, grad student from Massachusetts, had 40 goals last year for top 10 inside the conference. Second half underway. Draw control won by Roanoke. Carrying into the attacking third, or knocking on the door, Foster then tripped up by Santora. Play pauses for a moment as Roanoke gets reset. Some of the stats that I didn't mention at halftime. Interesting, not often you see this, but free position shots. Roanoke 1 for 5, Lynchburg 0 for 3. We saw a handful of free positions for both squads, and relatively frequently teams will try to pass it off and work for a better shot later on in the shot clock. And the two teams then combined go 1 for 8 on the free position shots, which is obviously a much lower percentage than normal. Rogers picks it up for Lynchburg. Misses Jordan Nilsson on the pass, though, so the Maroons will get it back deep into the attacking half. Rogers was stellar in the first half, now up to 10 saves this afternoon. Harrison in the mix, won't get it back for Roanoke. Instead, Madison Knight gobbles the ground ball up for the Hornets. Lynchburg looking for their first score since the first quarter. Dumas couldn't handle the pass initially, gets it back. Finds Slacum. Knight reverses and returns it to Slacum. Lynchburg is a team averaging just under 10 goals a contest. That number dropped a fair amount over this 3-game losing streak. Santora looking to break the tie. Finds Dumas. Over to Daniel. Now Sullivan. Talking more about recent stretch scoring-wise for Lynchburg. Just 6 goals against York. A little bit more production against Denison in a close game, 13-9. And then Franklin and Marshall, 19-3 loss against the number 6 team in the country. That's a tough contest, tough result. Some of those things where playing a really good opponent, and Diplomats played really, really strong, especially in the second and third quarter of that contest, and allows the Hornets piece together where can we get better, areas of improvement. And you see that on display today. Jumping out in front of a team picked to finish second in the preseason poll and got a first-place vote in Roanoke. Second quarter was quiet for Lynchburg offensively. Roanoke started to figure things out. It sets up for really entertaining second half that is now a little more than 3 minutes underway. Casemeyer can't connect on the pass. Harrison maintains possession for the Maroons. Nice give and go between her and Natalie Mason. Bowman to the far side. Lily Blair behind the net. Shot denied by Rogers. Save number 11 for the freshman. Roanoke wastes no time. Foster, defended by Dumas. Trying to kick it over to Bowman. Pass too tall. Lynchburg looking to get it out to Santora quick. Now a late whistle. Possession will be given back to the Hornets. At least that's the call as of now. Referees will meet. Clock stops. 10:52 to go here in the third quarter. And it will be Lynchburg possession. Last time the Hornets found the back of the net, it was with right around 4 minutes to go in the first quarter, and that came with a player-up opportunity. Santora off the feed from Sawville. Since then, a 3-0 run for Roanoke. As to the tie scored we are now. So now almost 5 minutes into the third quarter, you're looking at near 24-minute offensive drought. Give credit to the Maroons, making some tweaks defensively, but the onus now has to be on Lynchburg. Got to take advantage of the looks get here in the second half. Men's lacrosse head coach at Lynchburg, Steve Kudelka, says often that in close games it comes down to 5 plays. You play for 60 minutes, but 5 plays will decide it. And it's a close one right now. Don't know exactly what 5 plays will stand out the most when we look back at this game. But it may come down to the looks Lynchburg generates here in the second half, and did they finish? Mia Sullivan does. Lynchburg retakes the lead. Second goal of the year for Mia Sullivan. A nice feed from Santora. She finds the junior in stride. And it's when that second defender steps up. Give a ton of credit to Santora, not panicking as another defender comes in her direction. Like I said, she finds Sullivan in stride. Had a step on her defender. Able to find home in the back of the net to make it 4-3. Hornets out in front of the Maroons. Going back to something we talked about earlier on in this contest, I questioned, what does that first goal do for Roanoke? And interim head coach Zach Tamburello And I would argue that first goal from Bowman did help get things moving and kind of took the monkey off the back of the Maroons. That led to 2 more goals, both coming from Lily Blair. A tied score at halftime. And now, a long scoring drought. You want the same thing for Lynchburg. Get back to the scoring column. Does the offense get back to where it was at the onset of this contest? If you're a Hornets fan, you're certainly hoping so. And if you're a Roanoke fan, you're hoping you have a stop up your sleeve. Lynchburg back to work in the attacking third. Chance to double up their lead. Less than 9.5 to go in quarter number 3. Perkins swings it over to Elise Henderson. Henderson for Quigley. Santora got away from her initial defender. Got the pass through. Sawville sent down to the turf. Contact. Results in a free position for Lynchburg. Peyton Sawville, sophomore from Berryville, Virginia. 5 goals and an assist. Also 15 shots this year. She'll take the rip. And gets the best of Chickering. Lynchburg now lead 5-3. And a lot of times on those free positions, you'll see players charge up. Even if they pass it off, they'll charge and make the keeper think that the shot's inbound. This time, Sawville loads up and able to sneak it through under the stick and above the foot of Sophia Chickering. Or excuse me, Kylie Chickering. 6th of the year for Sawville. With 9:01 to go in quarter number 3, the advantage grows to 2 for the Hornets. A ton of credit to Coach Reed and this Lynchburg squad. Get out to a hot start, and then immediately all the work that you put together in that first 15, taken away through the next 15. It's interesting to see how teams respond to that. I'd say Lynchburg put their head down and gone to work. Another draw control win. Santora plays the advantage. She's defended. Topkoski. Sullivan. Back to Sawville. And as the Hornets work it around counterclockwise. Reset, update you on some of the stats. Pass off the mark, intended for Henderson. Sawville, the first to it, but Henderson ultimately picks it up. Keeps it with Lynchburg. Pass from Sullivan, Santora, misses wide left. Perkins backing up the play. Keeps the possession alive for the Hornets. Shotcom close to even. Roanoke at 19, Lynchburg with 18. Errant pass, trying to find Sullivan. Now the Maroons with a chance to respond. Eisenhart, a couple of nice moves. Gets away from Sullivan for a moment. Blair forward for Mason. Mason over to Casemeyer. And again, my big question here in the second half is, where does Lily Blair stand when Roanoke's on the offensive side? Give a ton of credit to Coach Tamburello, excuse me. Called a timeout midway through the second. Shortly after, you get the first score from Bowman. And one of the changes was having Blair stand more behind the net, especially early in possessions. Haven't seen a whole lot in the second half. And on this possession, it doesn't matter. Blair breaks out of the spin move. An explosive first step. Got away from Slacum, and sometimes it only takes a little bit of separation. Working to her right. Sneaks it up and over the shoulder of Rogers to make it 5-4. Really impressive sequence for Lily Blair. Her 20th goal in the season. Both teams started the year 3-0. Both teams looking to avenge recent losses. It's 2 in a row for Roanoke, 3 in a row for Lynchburg. Santora opposite Sophia Chickering. After the draw control, picked up by the Maroons. It was Nicole Harrison snatching out of the Lynchburg sky. Chase, give and go between her and Casemeyer. I haven't seen a whole lot of Riley Chase today. She's scored in every game this year, has 9 on the season. She was in the starting lineup, but primarily offensive end. It's been Lily Blair with sprinkles of Maddie Stopkowski. And, of course, a goal from Libby Bowman in the mix as well. Blair gets a screen, set by Chase. Underhand toss. Now the feed to Casemeyer. Breaking to her right. Front of the net. Pass. Goes to Riley Chase and on cue. The senior from Trumbull, Connecticut, continues her trend of scoring in every game played this year for Roanoke. And Chase hits double digits with her 10th score of the season. Really patient offensive set. Connor able to find Chase. And a motion like that, or excuse me, an offensive set like that where there's so much motion, allows you to kind of get into a rhythm. And it looked like on that possession, the pass from Connor came out on time. Chase caught it in stride, and like a song, it just didn't come off the record. And now we're tied up 5-all. Still Santora and Chickering at midfield. Chickering wins the draw control. Controlled for a moment. Santora able to jar it loose. Clock continues to roll. Lynchburg with the stop. Wastes no time. Perkins with Tori King flanking to her right. Forced to swing it over to Daniel. Now ahead for Sullivan. Sullivan for Gregory. Saw Gregory pick up her 3rd assist of the season earlier today. Daniel to Santora. Trying to split the wickets of Chickering. Nice save for the sophomore. As Roanoke moves in transition, some contact. Call goes against Lynchburg. Pass to the near side. Grace Kazoustis. Blair able to split the difference between Satterfield and Slacum on her way towards the net. Foul was called, so they'll send Blair back in front of Rogers. Free position opportunity. Less than 5 to play in the 3rd quarter. Blair will take the shot. Missed off frame, but Rogers got a stick on it and able to get it away to Slacum, who carries forward. Plenty of real estate in front of her. Now a lot of time for Lynchburg to work with. Daniel ahead for Dumas. Clock stops, 4:21 to play in the 3rd. Free position on the other end now for the Hornets. Blair came up empty a moment ago. Now number 7 for Lynchburg. A chance of her own. Dumas takes the shot. She too misses wide left. Dumas holding her head at the end of the play. Seemingly shocked that she didn't send it between the posts. Dumas gets it back, however, as Lynchburg continues the possession. Pass goes to Gregory. as Gregory was working towards the center of the turf. Whistle's blown, another free position. Gregory lets it fly and buries it. Dara Gregory, her 6th on the season. Lynchburg moves back in front 6-5. And Gregory wastes no time. Sets the back foot and sends it on frame, beating Kylie Chickering. And the Hornets retake the lead. Back and forth these two squads have gone. 3-0 through the first, 3-3 at halftime, then 2 goals to start the third for Lynchburg, answered by 2 more for Roanoke. Brought it to 5-5, and you just saw Dara Gregory break that tie. Back to midfield, draw control win for Lynchburg. Daniel there to pick it up. Kicked over to Santora. Charges with the head of steam. Now Santora slows down. Marked up by Sydney Harrison. Flips it to King. King lost it. Mason. And we called for the contact. Free position, King will swing it over to Dumas, and now Lynchburg send it all the way down to Gregory behind the net. Now work back the other way. King gets the pass from Santora. More whistles. And once again goes against Roanoke. Some frustration shown at the end of the play from Maddie Stupkowski. Santora stands where Gregory just did a moment ago to make it 6-5. Santora, looking for goal number 16 of the year, will take the shot. Spikes it, also leaves it wide left. False start. Roanoke concedes possession already. Turning it over to the Hornets. King. More whistles. Another call going against Roanoke. King on the free position. Makes it 7-5. Tori King, a sophomore from Falls Church, Virginia. On the heels of a handful of whistles going against Roanoke. Lynchburg stays diligent on offensive side and breakthrough to make it a 2-goal game once again. Third of the season for King. Her first this afternoon. A little more than 2.5 to play in the third quarter. Hornets looking to take down the Maroons for the 4th time over the previous 5 meetings between these two teams. It's Santora and Sophia Chickering again. Maroons into the attacking third. Chase for Lily Blair. This feels like an important possession. Every time Lynchburg's been able to stretch their arm and push Roanoke away a little bit, the Maroons have been there for an answer, and that feels like the importance of this possession, keeping Roanoke around, at least cut the deficit in half before we head to quarter number 4. A little more than a minute's difference between shot and game clock. The opportunity ajar for Roanoke to tie it up, but this won't help. Carson Quigley creates the turnover. Pass was intended for Sydney Harrison. Quigley has her pass broken up. Gathered by Stupkowski. Leaves it back for Chase. Chase able to thread the needle. Shot to the back of the net. It's now 7-6. Take another look. Really nice find for Chase. Occupying the open space. It's Maddie Stupkowski, her first of the day, 5th of the season.
Goal, Roanoke. Goal scored.
Like we said, every time Lynchburg has started to create some separation, Roanoke's been there to answer back. I mean, highlighted by this third quarter. Lynchburg opens the scoring in the second half. Goals from Mia Sullivan and Peyton Sawville, answered by 2 for Roanoke, coming from Lily Blair and Riley Chase. And to keep the trend going, 2 scores for Lynchburg, 1 for Roanoke. 90 seconds to play with. Shot clock's turned off. Can Roanoke repeat history and answer 2-0 run with a 2-0 run of their own? And furthermore, do the Maroons hold for the final possession here? It's always interesting. You have near a full shot clock to work with. It's certainly a possession-by-possession type of decision. So you end up getting a great look. You don't want to pass it up in the interest of killing time. But here, right around 50 seconds to play in the third. Looks like Roanoke might make this the final possession, and it appears some raindrops are going to fall onto Schellenberger Field, adding another element of intrigue to this contest. Pass over the head of Harrison. Blair gathers at the blue line. Riley Chase on the far side, defended by Nilsson. Pass goes behind the net. Surveying. Dish. Sent to Connor, who's denied by Rogers. And Rogers will not pass it away. Instead, will control and let the final seconds of the third quarter wind away. 7-6 your score through 45 minutes between Lynchburg and Roanoke. We'll step aside and come back with the final stanza between the Hornets and the Maroons, coming to you on LHSN.
I was looking for a school that could provide me with the athletics, academics to pursue my career, a wind symphony to pursue my passion for music, and really have a nice general atmosphere. The professors here are really unique, their background and their passion for teaching. It's really a place where you can explore. Lynchburg gives you the opportunity to fail, but also get back up in that period of time and learn from your mistakes. I can make these mistakes within the school environment, but also with the support of other friends, and be ready for the real world when you graduate.
Never think that your donation is in vain, because you're helping out hundreds of students that are just like me, who need a shot and who are getting one. Without donations, without you individuals that are helping to donate to the university and the Lynchburg Fund, there would be no student body president, Davion Washington. There'd probably be I'm stuck at home, Davion Washington. not only is your donation building leaders, but it's building leaders like myself and others that will hopefully want to pay it forward one day and do the same thing. I know for a fact that, when I have it, because I want to give back to this university that provided me a home for 4 years.
Welcome back to Lynchburg, Virginia. Just saw a fantastic save from Patricia Rogers. Had that shot at the back of the net. It would have been a 2-0 run in response to Lynchburg's 2-0 run to tie us up 7-7. But instead, Rogers makes the stand, and we head to the final 15 minutes with the Hornets leading the Maroons 7-6 here on LHSN. I do want to make one quick correction as we get set at midfield for the draw control. That most recent goal for Roanoke not coming from Annie Stopkowski. I do apologize for that. Instead, that was Grace Zoutsis getting the most recent score for the Maroons, and that marked the 4th of the year for the freshman from Moretta, Georgia. So apologies, crediting that goal to the wrong individual. But the result stays the same, 7-6, and Roanoke with a chance to tie it up. Talking more about Patricia Rogers, 14 saves this afternoon for Rogers. Most in a single game this year was 18. Handoff to Chase. Chase now for Harrison. Defended by Knight. Shot wide left. It comes from Case Meyer. Roanoke still with it. Nicole Harrison works to her right. Tiernan Connor. Kudosis. Harrison working to her left. A lot of movement for Roanoke. We're really to go with it, but ultimately whistle's blown. Free position. This is Nicole Harrison. Harrison charges in. Will take the shot and ties us up 7-all. Nicole Harrison, sophomore from Boston, her 3rd goal on the year. And after Rogers picked up a stellar save to close the 3rd, Roanoke does find their 7th score of the night and ties it up. 13:38 to go in the 4th quarter. It'll be Santora, Sophia Chickering at midfield. Talked about Rogers, 14 saves on 26 shots faced. On the other side, Kylie Chickering, 8 saves against 23 shots faced. Save percentage at 53.3%. Lynchburg looking to make it wins in 4 of the last 5 meetings between Roanoke, while the Maroons can make it wins at back-to-back meetings against the Hornets. And it's the first of 2 meetings between these two squads this year. Two teams continue to scrum for possession. With the whistle, Lynchburg be awarded possession. Dumas into the attacking 3rd. Slip past Natalie Mason. Shoot, scores. The goal won't count. Whistle was blown prior. The shot being taken. Dumas will have the free position. Here it is one more time. Mason checks Dumas and coming out, free position. Leads to the 2nd goal tonight for Leah Dumas. 9th of the season for the grad student from Maine. We'll show it to you now. 13:12 to go in the 4th quarter. Huge response for Lynchburg. Dumas skips it past Chickering and finds home. Hornets retake the lead. As we get set at midfield, finishing off my point, first of 2 meetings between these two squads. The next will be on April 6th at Roanoke, and that one will count as a conference game. Start time set for 4 p.m. out over at Roanoke College. Today, non-conference bout between the two sides. Still a good test for the two teams. Get an eye for what the top of the O-deck will look like, as well as what the other will look like, of course. Foster. Sent all the way to the near sideline. Players down on the turf. It's Foster and Perkins. Roanoke had possession for a moment. Pass off the top of the stick of Mason. And it took a little bit for Kaylee LaGuardia to pick it up, but ultimately does just before Mia Sullivan. Tried to take it away for the Hornets. Now Sullivan tracks to the near sideline. Another penalty to go against the Hornets.
Yellow card assessed to Lynchburg, number 18, Mia Sullivan. Be a 2-minute penalty, non-releasable. Releases at 10:39. 10:39 on the release. The penalty is non-releasable.
It's a non-releasable penalty, 2 minutes. Going against Sullivan. I mean, even with the score here from Roanoke, Lynchburg will still be playing a player down. So Sullivan to the sideline for a full 2 minutes. Lily Blair. Kudosis. Back to Blair. Nobody picks up Chickering on her way to the net. Left it wide left. Dumas looking to get away from a trio of Roanoke defenders. And Dumas will have it to start the possession. Errant pass. Trying to get it to Slacum. Ball was live on the ground for a moment. Then picked up by Knight. Forced to backtrack. And send it over to Nilsson. Roanoke bringing numbers forward and applying a press and putting a lot of pressure on Lynchburg right now. The Hornets able to get it across midfield. Perkins. To her left is King. Instead, pass goes adjacent to the post. Dara Gregory will slow it down and let Lynchburg get set. Less than 60 seconds to go on the shot clock, so plenty of time to work with. And furthermore, Lynchburg up by a score, so a chance for Hornets to use the clock to their advantage. And now Roanoke defenders start to step up, force the Maroons to spread out. A chance to create an opening through the teeth of defense. Swung over to Daniel. Daniel with Natalie Mason in front of her. Shot clock down to 15 now. Sullivan couldn't get the pass off to the cutting Dumas. Instead, feed goes to King. Takes the shot. Chickering there to make the stand. 9th save of the day for Kylie Chickering. A little more than 10 to play in the regulation. Roanoke looking for the equalizer. Connor for Casemeyer. Close defender is Satterfield for the Hornets. Sent all the way back out to Emerson. We call her name a lot today. 5th start of the season for Emerson. 8 goals and an assist. Want to get it to Bowman. Instead, Roanoke forced to reset. Casemeyer against Satterfield again. Foster turns, rips the shot, kicked away by Rogers. Maroons with another opportunity. Blair It was the first of two cutters to go towards the net. No pass made. Now the feed leads to a score. Roanoke makes it 8-8. Grace Kudosis, if I saw it right, has her second on the night. Here it is one more time. And it is indeed the freshman from Georgia, Grace Kudosis, excuse me. Fifth on the season.
Goal, Roanoke. Goal scored by number 33, Grace Katusis.
And the trend continues this evening. Every time Lynchburg gets a little bit of separation, Roanoke's there with a response. This game playing out very similar to a recent game for both sides. For Roanoke, it was a back-and-forth, nail-biting finish at Catholic. For Lynchburg, it was down in Florida against number 19, Denison. And every time the Red Devils started to try to pull away from Lynchburg, the Hornets were there to keep it close. Same could be said about Roanoke against Catholic. Trailed most of the way through that contest. And today, it's been primarily Lynchburg playing with the lead, or it's been tied. Roanoke has yet to play with a lead this evening, with a chance to turn that around and change that on this possession. Roanoke works counterclockwise. Blair had it for a moment. Now it's with Harrison. Blair had the first score of the second half for Roanoke. Hasn't found the back of the net since. Give credit to interim head coach Zach Timborello. Done a good job having other players step up. And when it hasn't been Blair, after that it was Chase. A couple of goals from Kutosis. Cole Harrison got in the mix as well. This Roanoke team may be led by Lily Blair, but it's not a mutually exclusive offense where it lives and breathes through Blair. Blair spins, denied by Rogers. And to finish that point, the Maroons done a really good job having other players step up. And for a Roanoke team that averages more than 14 goals a game, but a little quieter on the offensive side this evening. Testament to what Lynchburg can do defensively. Salville gets it away to Santora, slips through two defenders. Now picked up by Natalie Mason. Perkins in front of LaGuardia. Gregory looking for space, finds Carson Quigley, pulls the trigger quick. Chickering with a nice stop. Harrison over to Connor, who found Casemeyer. Shot wide of the post. Nice beginning to this possession for Roanoke. Passed really well in transition. Didn't get the look they wanted. And now set up. Connor cuts, couldn't handle the pass. Picked up by Madison Knight. I think that was Casemeyer instead that had the pass sent in her direction. In and out of her stick. Nilsson looks to orchestrate the offense. Pass picked off. Connor ahead for Blair. And a timeout on the field. 8-8. This game has not disappointed at this point. We will step aside as the two teams talk it over. Tied up at Schellenberger Field as you're watching Lynchburg and Roanoke on LHSN.
Lynchburg really stood out for me just because of the way it treated its students. They really do make an effort here. And I've learned that over my 4 years is that they actually do try to listen to what the student body wants, and they try to act on that. They don't really just give you a piece of paper here to then go off and do your own thing. They actually prepare you to like work with different populations, which is what the world is all about. It's just working with people that are different than you. They genuinely care that everyone has the ability to go off into the world and make a difference with whatever they like. For me, that's just being basically in a room with someone helping them achieve their first goal of, I don't know, doing a pull-up. I actually do believe they want you to do the best you can to change someone's life for the better. You can be anyone here, which I think is really cool. But regardless of who you are here, they will make sure you don't fall through the cracks, which is awesome. I have realized that I've never felt lost here. I will not regret ever coming here, that's for sure. So I'm very glad that I came here. Yeah, it's actually pretty awesome.
5 minutes and 24 seconds left until the conclusion. It was a nice beginning to this sequence in the possession for Roanoke. And a pass that maybe carried Casemeyer too far past the post, then a later shot, missed wide of the frame. And if you're a Roanoke fan, you might look at that passing sequence as a missed opportunity. Maybe if Casemeyer isn't sent beyond the post, or maybe if that shot is on frame. We're talking about Roanoke playing with the lead for the first time tonight. You also see a couple of gloomy-looking clouds making their presence felt over Schellenberger Field. It rained for a little bit during the end of the third, beginning of the fourth. No rain now, and just daunting clouds hanging over Lynchburg, Virginia. Playback underway. Update you on some of the team-specific stats as Roanoke works it around the clock. 31-26 shot advantage for the Maroons over the Hornets. And 25 shots on goal for Roanoke to just 18 for Lynchburg. Draw control wins, 12 for the Maroons, 7 for the Hornets. Shot got past Rogers, and for the first time tonight, the Maroons play with the lead. Hat trick for the freshman. Grace Kudotsis does it again. 6 of the season. Kudotsis does it once more. Less than 5 minutes to go. There it is once again on your screen. Kudotsis doubles her goal total on the season tonight and comes up big. Lily Blair also with 3 scores tonight. Those two lead the way offensively for Roanoke. Then it's a goal each for Nicole Harrison, Libby Bowman, and Riley Chase. On the other side, Lynchburg, 2 for Dumas, 1 for Micah Slacum, Derek Gregory, Nikki Santor, Mia Sullivan, Tori King, and Peyton Saville. Now, individual score numbers up to date. Turn our focus to midfield. King opposite Sophia Chickering. Draw control win again for Roanoke. Blair first to get it. And the Maroons get set in the attacking third. And as we get closer and closer to conclusion of this contest, a stop here feels to go a long way for Lynchburg. Keeping the Hornets alive in this contest. Just conceded the lead for the first time tonight. Should say we've been tied, so Lynchburg has played without a lead, but first time the Hornets have trailed this evening. Kudotsis. Hands to Casemeyer. Stopkowski with it. Blair in front of Nilsson. Sends it back out. Tracy Benzing. As she receives the pass, the whistle's blown. It goes against Lynchburg. Blair will have it. Question is, will she take the shot on the free position? She will. And gets up and over the left shoulder of Patricia Rogers. Roanoke grows their lead up to 2. Lily Blair's 21st score on the year. And it comes on the free position chance where neither team has really been all that impressive on these chances so far tonight, but Blair takes advantage of this late game opportunity, makes it a 2-score difference. Rogers has been stellar all night long, and now has faced 33 shots. We have a timeout called by Lynchburg head coach Bruce Reed. Both teams will talk it over once more, and we will step aside. Maroons storm out in front and lead by 2. 10-8 your score on Schellenberger Field. Welcome back to Lynchburg, Virginia. 10-8 your score. 3:36 left until the conclusion. Maroons out to a hot stretch. Scored 5 of the last 6 scores. And so far here in the fourth quarter, Roanoke lead the quarter 4-1, including a 3-0 run. Last 3 scores coming courtesy of 2 of the 3 from Grace Katusis, and then the most recent comes from Lily Blair, her 3rd on the night. Roanoke once again controlling possession and navigating into the attacking third. Lynchburg in need of a stop. And while Roanoke, other side of the same coin, has an opportunity to. Still 3 minutes and counting left to be played, so you don't want to call it the nail in the coffin, but certainly goes a long way for Roanoke. Try to complete the comeback and leave Lynchburg as the victors. Katusis working to her left. Able to get it away to Casemeyer. Casemeyer picked up by 2 defenders, doing a lot of work defensively right now for Lynchburg. It's number 24, Meredith Bornholt. Now it's Satterfield, as well as Slacum. Task was slowing down Benzing. Wraps it all the way around. Slacum knocks it loose. Roanoke gets it back. Blair got past Daniel. Shot off the top post. Ricochets back out to Benzing. And a fresh 60 put on the shot clock, and that becomes an advantageous note for Roanoke. Katusis shot denied by Rogers. Save number 18 for the freshman. That marks a tie career high. Dumas trying to get to midfield. Ahead for King. Lynchburg needs 2 to force overtime. King draws 2 defenders. Pass for Daniel. Off the mark. Daniel tracks it down. On the sideline, assistant coach Eric Holmgren talking with the Hornets offense. Santora forced to take the shot from downtown. Save from Chickering. And in transition, Benzing absorbs some contact. Reach to the pocket. Clock stops with 67 seconds to play. Dumas called over by the official. Take another look. Not a whole lot of time to work with. Sometimes you have to force for not the best shot you'd ultimately earn on a possession. Santora Can score from just about wherever once you get across midfield, it feels like. But there, Chickering was all over it. Less than a minute to play. Blair got into the attacking third and past Dumas. And the clock stops, 46.3 to play. Both teams head out to the huddle. No call for a timeout. It appears referees will now tell teams to stay on the field. And one official out towards the scores table. While we wait for a verdict, here is Lily Blair finding the top of the post. And Roanoke, with less than a minute to go, up by 2. If you're a Maroons fan watching, you feel like you're in a good spot right now. But, man, if Blair were able to find the back of the net, that would do wonders. Put this game away. They do award a timeout to Coach Tamborello, so we will take a quick pause. 10-8 your score. Roanoke looking to hold on here on LHSN.
Living the dream.
USA, Mexico. That was so exciting.
Back in Lynchburg, Virginia, Roanoke looking to hold on, up by 2. Just under 47 seconds left to be played. The Maroons have trailed for a majority of this contest. Didn't have their first lead until it was a 9-8 contest. Grace Katusis put the Maroons out in front with 4:54 to go. But for the 55 minutes prior, it was Lynchburg leading or a tied contest. They give a ton of credit to Coach Tamborello and the Maroons. Stayed resilient, continued to battle, and now have a chance. They're able to take off the remaining clock, can leave Lynchburg with a comeback victory. Blair against Daniel. Pass goes ahead to Casemeyer. 25 seconds left on the game clock. No shot clock. Casemeyer against Dumas. Madison Knight comes as the help defender. Pass nearly up and over the head of Tiernan Connor, but senior able to corral the pass. Has Katusis, and the final seconds of this contest. Line down and off the clock. Roanoke completes the comeback. Despite not having a lead until less than 5 minutes to go in the fourth quarter, the Maroons will leave Lynchburg, Virginia with a win, and Roanoke elevates to 4-2 on the season. This game is non-conference in the first of 2 meetings to the two sides, so neither team's conference record will change, but overall Roanoke 4-2 on the year. Lynchburg has dropped their 4th in a row and now 3-4 on the year. Give you some final thoughts. This was a really entertaining game to watch. Back and forth. It was close most of the way through. I believe the largest lead for either side was 2 goals. And with that said, Roanoke showed a ton of fight. And, despite, especially after that first quarter falling behind 3-0, would have been easy for the Maroons to hang their heads and say, hey, that's it. But instead, Coach Tamborello kept Roanoke in line, found some answers offensively midway through the second, and ultimately come back as the victors, 10-8. And for Lynchburg, all the way even to the conclusion, really strong showing for the Hornets against the team that received a first-place vote in the preseason poll, finished second in the conference ODAC preseason poll. And Lynchburg will have a chance to learn from today's contest and get ready for the second meeting between these two sides coming in the beginning of April 6th. To be exact, it's a midweek clash again for Lynchburg. It comes down to sustaining some of that offense in my eyes. Got a little quiet in certain points in the game. And you look to fourth quarter, only 1 goal in the fourth, shutout in the second. But then you have 3 in the first, 4 in the third. It comes down to evening out that scoring and not going quiet during large portions of a contest. Easier said than done, and that's where you rely on a 20th-year head coach. And Bruce Reed, who's had 13 consecutive winning seasons, I would trust his expertise in that field to try to even out and create some consistency on the offensive side for Lynchburg. I think if there's more consistency from start to finish on the offensive end, the Hornets come away with a win today. But that's what this non-conference game is for, so you can learn where you can get better once you get into conference play where ultimately it all matters the most. That's going to do it for us at Schellenberger Field. For my director, Thomas Murphy, and the rest of our fantastic LHSN broadcast crew, my name's TJ Winger, telling you one final time. Final score, 10-8, Roanoke gets the best of Lynchburg. And until next time, we are signing off.